Welcome again. Today we're talking about attention is the new currency, especially when dealing with narcissists. Okay? You gotta pardon me too, my allergies is acting up really bad. So it's about that time of the year, so a little stuffy. But I want to speak about how the narcissistic economy is based on primarily off of attention, and lots of it. The more, the better. And we have to look at attention and admiration is the ultimate high for the narcissist. This is what they live for: attention, admiration, validation, these type of things. To the narcissist is equivalent to the blood flow in the body for a narcissist. Without that consistent praise, validation, and attention to the narcissist, they might as well be dead. Okay? And one might say, well, figuratively, wouldn't money or success or something like that top attention? Or doesn't a straight hand beat three of a kind? Well, when it comes to narcs, there is no normalcy. That's out the window. And in fact, they're quite ass backwards. And that's due to a botched character that is weak and deficient of morals. And many of the times they have low to no priorities outside of gaining attention and validation. You have to understand, most of everything that the narcissist does is based on something that involves serving themselves, right? But everything that they do is to be validated in some sort of way. And today we see how attention seeking is starting to become more pervasive in many different areas of existence and in life today. For normal individuals, we may receive attention, and we receive it, modestly, humbly, in a humble way. And we acknowledge it, and we like it. Everybody likes attention. There's nothing wrong with that. Problem is when attention becomes the end all be all, when you will do anything for it. That's where the narcissist, that's the depths of where the narcissist operates, at least. And on the other hand, when we look at the narcissist, when they get attention, they're completely overwhelmed. Their senses, at least, are completely overwhelmed, and it becomes something that they can't get enough of. They can't get enough of attention. They want more and more and more. And they'll do anything to get it. And for those individuals, for the narcissist individuals, attention turns into something much more dangerous than just getting validation and admiration. Attention becomes their God. And it is a very demanding one at that. It pushes them, and it pushes them to prove to it how much it adores it, how much it wants it. It strips its servants of rationality, logic, morale, and common sense. They're turned into complete fools. They become insatiable maniacs for attention. And just like an addict, they lose their ability to properly function without it. It's like the average addict. And that's what happens. And this is what we're seeing more and more in society, especially through a lot of these social media outlets. And even when those who venture out to attempt to have normal relationships, it's hard now because so much of society has been influenced by narcissistic ways. And once you start playing that game with narcissists, it becomes a never-ending cycle. So everybody's trying to keep up with things that, it's almost like with the narcissist being so insatiable, things in society are always at a pace where you have to keep going because the attention span of narcissists, as you know, they're very short. So, back when we had, back in when we actually, in the 19th century, where there were decades of things where you have a style that was out in the 50s that lasted the whole 50s, and then the 60s had a style that lasted the whole 60s, then the 70s, and so forth. You get where I'm going with it. Now, that changes damn near every other month. There's no time to absorb and to be able to embrace and get a full collective experience of something that where you can gather enough information and understanding before moving on to something else. Now everything's just so fast. So people don't have time for anything to build. They need it now. They don't want to wait. So there goes love too. They don't want to wait for love to build. No, love should post in the eyes of how things are now, because of the dominant narcissistic influence on society. Everything is supposed to happen quickly. No filtering, no vetting, none of that. No validation. Just let it happen. And this is something to be very careful about, because if you don't know how to ground yourself, you can easily get swept up into that. About this currency now being attention. It's like the world's turning into a big high school. Who's the most popular? Who has the most likes? Who has the most followers? This structure is caused a lot of society to be shallow, to be disconnected. And by making things happen so fast, doesn't give people time to absorb and fully comprehend, absorb, and learn what's before them at the present time. Before they can even get a full comprehension, we're already off to the next. And that's kind of how, when I hear a lot of these people about their engagements with narcissists, and, it's almost a big part of the blame has to come from society. The leaders of these societies. The major corporations of these societies. If they're not if they're not, putting out any guidelines and anything goes, then you can almost expect a result that where anything can happen. This is why things can appear so unstable now. We're in a world now of instant gratification. And if it's not instant now, it doesn't have the same impact, because they've trained the brain, they've trained the minds to respond to that instant gratification. Anything that's delayed or lag is almost a turnoff. So someone who wants to take things slow or move slower or they're seen as lame, boring. Someone who wants to practice morality and be more prudent and use logic, use reasoning, deductive reasoning. Oh, they're too uptight. What? They're nobody wants to deal with them. Not now. They disrupt the flow of things. Because now the flow of things is supposed to be instant. There's no waiting. When you want it, you want it, which builds a certain type of entitlement. And this is why, to stay grounded, you have to always be in a mind frame or a mindset of gratitude, being grateful. Because it's very easy to take things for granted when they're just given to you, and especially given to you at such a rapid rate. Or if you're awarded or given things without really having to prove anything or have any real talents. I'm probably going outside of what a lot of the experts say and stuff, but I'm just got to speak real about it. They say a lot of narcissistic stuff comes from childhood, but a lot of it is from social engineering and how society is managed. What is allowed to go on and what isn't in society. Certain laws, certain rules, certain things. This formulates and forms the minds of the people who have to live or exist within it. Yes, parenting is a major part. But outside of parenting, there's still things that govern us as human beings that will have an effect on our minds as well. That can condition our minds to become certain ways through repetition. And now it appears that attention is at the top of all things to be desired. Anyway, I'm pretty much done here. I'm not going to go on rambling. But hit the like button if you like. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Until next time, have a good one. Everyone enjoy yourselves. Love yourselves. Till next time, I'm out. Bye now.